Hey everybody, Taz from Critical Thinking Anarchy here, or Anarchist. Oh my gosh, can't even get the name of my own channel right. So, oddly enough, Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Incredibles in theaters Friday. I will say, after watching it, I agree. This is kind of like Incredibles 2.5. I would kind of call it. It's it's very much it's not a bad movie. And I'll say this: of the three movies three giant movies that have come out, Jurassic World, Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is the best of the three. It's got the best story. It's got the um, best overall plot, basically. Um, Galactus is awesome. Johnny Storm is okay. Sue Storm is really good. Ben Grimm, the Thing, is really good. The weakest spot is easily Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. There isn't a single time in this movie, kind of spoilers here. Um, there's not a single time in there that you're like, wow, this is the smartest man. It's kind of like in the Superman review that I said, there's nothing that says, oh, this is the guy that I want reviewing, that I want saving the world. You just don't feel that with him. You don't sit there and be like, man, this is a super genius. Like, yes, he's sitting there constantly writing on a chalkboard all these equations. But one, you never see the equations. Two, you don't understand the equations. Johnny Storm does a better job of being all smart and, realizing a language, a foreign language, than Reed Richards does the entire time. Like everybody else guesses what Reed Richards is doing. Like, oh, this is the solution to the problem. You know, like, well, if you can guess it, then he's not that smart, is he? Well, I'm just saying. Um, Galactus is almost incredibly awesome. So he's really awesome until he gets to Earth, and that's not a spoiler. That's in the trailer. Um, he's awesome until he gets to Earth, and he's kind of clunky and kind of visually not that great. The visual effects on this are okay. So one of the big problems I should do a video about this as well. One of the big problems I have about visual effects these days is because they are all CG. Almost nothing is practical effects anymore, and so imagination is the limit. Is whatever you can imagine is what you can do. The problem is because you're never forced to challenge your imagination. I mean, that's what practical effects do. They force you to challenge what you do. So you build the thing and then you look at it and you go, well, I can do this with real things. Um, so you kind of get a good bad thing on that. With visual effects, you're never challenged. It never stops you to go, maybe I should do this instead of this, or maybe this looks good, but I can make it look better. I can make it do something better. It never stops anyone anymore. So that's my little thing on that. Anyway, um, Reed Richards is a downside. Of course, Shala Ball, Silver Surfer is kind of nothing in this. They try to make kind of a love interest thing, but it just takes you out of the story. Um, there are two toward at the end. There are two sacrifices that happen. One is earned, one is not. I'll say that. It should have been earned. It should have been earned. It would have been great if it were earned, that second one, if that second one were earned. Now, of course, the first one is kind of undone, but it's Marvel. It's Disney. You know it's going to be undone. And the way it's undone is okay. It doesn't hurt anything. I mean, you kind of already know it's going to happen. The second one is very much Star Wars. Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars. It's very Disney Star Wars. I'll say that. It's very Disney Star Wars. Tertiary character comes in and saves a main character from making a sacrifice. It kind of kills it, because it would have been a great real sacrifice. And in fact, they could have solved it in a very easy way. They could have solved it in a very easy way. They could have allowed the main character to go in, and then allowed the tertiary, allowed the main character to make the sacrifice, then allowed the tertiary character to save the main character in an after effect type of thing, as a secondary thing. Or they both kind of make the same sacrifice, and then the tertiary character, again, if you watch it, it'll all make sense. Does it ruin the movie? No. Is this a great movie? No, not a great movie. Is it a good movie? I'll say it's a mostly good movie. I'd probably give it about a 6.5 out of 10. Should you see it in the theater? Sure. I'll say this: if you like The Incredibles, you'll like this. I'll just say it that. If you like The Incredibles, you'll like this. You'll probably say I should just watch The Incredibles again, because The Incredibles is a much better movie. But this is pretty good. This is probably, I hope Disney leaves The Incredibles alone, does not do an actual live action version of The Incredibles. This is as close as it gets to a live action version of The Incredibles. Now, here's the one problem. One, this is the third time Fantastic Four has been done. The first two were not particularly good. Two, despite Fantastic Four being the first family of Marvel Comics, that does not translate into mainstream audiences. When it comes to mainstream audiences like X-Men, mainstream audiences like Deadpool, mainstream audiences like Spider-Man, mainstream audiences for Fantastic Four, they're probably like 4th, 5th, 6th on the list when it comes to recognizable Marvel brands, we'll say. Definitely after, well below X-Men and Spider-Man. I would say Spider-Man, X-Men, interchangeable depending on who you ask. Deadpool, a relatively distant third, despite what box offices say. That's more because of hype and Ryan Reynolds doing a fantastic job than it is about the character. Prior to Ryan Reynolds taking over Deadpool, not many people knew who Deadpool was. And then after that, probably Fantastic Four. Venom, you can kind of say Venom, but Venom is, officially part of Spider-Man. I would call him by the Spider-Verse. I don't really like the whole villain hero thing. But that's kind of that's a me thing. So yeah, I'd probably say 4th, maybe 5th. But anyway, again, it's a good movie. Should you see it in theater? Sure, if you want to. I would do a matinee on it. I don't know that I would do a date night. There's a couple of good gut punching scenes, though. There's a couple of good gut punching scenes. Again, especially if you're a parent, you can kind of say Sue Storm does a girl boss thing. Personally, I don't think so. It's very much a mom thing. She's protecting her child. And, if you know anything about women and protecting children, they can do incredible things when they do that. And she goes all out and she gives it. And I believe it. It's one of those things where, it's a little girl bossy, but in the context of what's happening, I agree with it. I don't think it's a woke thing by any means. It's stylized, which is good or bad. There's a couple of there's definitely several joke scenes in there. They're like, why? Especially when you got a runtime of it's a runtime of just over 100 minutes, so relatively short, which is good. That helps it. But they padded it with some of these scenes that you're just like, I don't understand why you're doing this. You know, I mean, you could flesh out a little bit more with good things than pad it with these jokey scenes. But anyway, you know, if you have seen it, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you like it? You don't like it? You don't care? You do care? You like it better than other things? And yeah, again, let me know. Thanks for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.